Hello children, how are you all? I'm sure you are reading, writing and enjoying grammar topics also. We are going to study about a very interesting topic that helps us to describe people, things and places. Yes, you guessed it right. उन्हें कहते हैं adjectives या describing words. So let's start. Unit 4, Adjectives. Let's start with a quick exercise to check your understanding. Here you can see some letters W, E, F, N. Try to write 2 adjectives each beginning with the given letters here. So suppose with W you can think of 2 adjectives and likewise. I'm sure you'll be able to do that. Let's study adjective and its kinds. An adjective is a word that tells more about the kind, quality, ownership of the noun or pronoun it describes. So this is the keyword for us to remember. Kind, quality. It describes the quality, ownership of the noun also, and pronouns. Kinds of adjectives. So we can see a flow chart here or a mind map here which tells us about types of adjectives. We have possessive adjectives, interrogative, demonstrative, adjectives of quality, quantity and number. So possessive adjectives tells us about ownership, whose. Interrogative adjectives are more about questions. Demonstratives show which one. Adjectives of quality tell us what kind of. Adjectives of quantity tell us the number, how much. And adjectives of number tell us how many. Let's study more kinds of adjectives. First, we have proper adjectives. A kind of adjectives of quality are derived from proper nouns, names of geographical areas, etc., and often refer to the origin of something or someone. For example, Indian food is trending always. So, what is the adjective here? Proper adjective. Well, it is Indian. Indefinite adjectives are adjectives of number that do not denote an exact number. Wherever you will find the word indefinite, you can surely think that it will not show exactness. For example, leaders listen to some random news and get agitated. Here we don't know the exact number or how much. So we have the indefinite adjective some. Distributive adjectives. They are also adjectives of number and refer to each one of number, taken one at a time. For example, the police interrogated every person who was present on the crime scene. So here, the distributive adjective is every. Emphasizing adjectives. These are the ones used to emphasize or on which we lay upon some stress, something or to show very strong feelings. Like, what are they saying? Incomplete nonsense. Fireworks are sheer wastage of money in my opinion. So here, through these adjectives, they are stressing upon these ideas. Now we also have adjectives indicating age. Adjectives such as older and oldest, younger and youngest refer to age. These adjectives are usually followed by than to show what? Comparison. Let's read. Suman is older than Mohan. So here we can see the comparison and we will use than. Who is older? Suman. I am younger than my brother. Elder and eldest are also adjectives indicating age, but they are usually used to refer to family relations. Like John is elder to his brother. So it's a family relation here. Rama was the eldest among his brothers. We also have adjectives of time and position. Children, adjectives such as later and latest are used to indicate time, whereas latter, last and next imply position. So these two tell us time. Let's see them in these sentences. It is the latest news, means very, very recent one. This is the last chapter of our English book. And Mohan lives next to mine. So that is the position here. We can also study about comparison of adjectives through some rules. Here is the table and you can see the 3 degrees: positive, comparative, superlative. 3 degrees of comparison, and we have rule number 1. Most adjectives form the comparative by adding er and the superlative by adding est. Let's read along these examples. Great, greater, greatest. Clever, cleverer, cleverest. Kind, kinder, kindest. Could you see the pattern here? In comparative, we are adding er, that's it. And in superlating, we are adding est. Few more examples. Young, try to add, yes, younger. And then youngest. Short, shorter, shortest. Tall, taller, tallest. Another rule. When adjectives ending with e form the comparative by adding r and the superlative by adding st, like noble, nobler, noblest. So here you will just see only er is added and there only st. Wise, wiser, wisest. Able, abler, ablest. So this is very easy to remember, and this will also help you to write correct spellings. Adjectives ending with y, change the y to I and add er and est. So when we have such adjectives ending in y, like early, costly, heavy, then what do? We just drop the y and we instead place I and er in comparative form and iest in superlative. So here also remember the pattern. It becomes earlier, costlier, heavier. And in superlative, iest, earliest, costliest, heaviest. Another category is with adjectives having CVC combination. Double the last consonant before adding er and est. So CVC here means consonant, vowel, consonant. What are the 5 vowels, children? A, E, I, O, U. And what are consonants? All the letters besides these 5 vowels are called consonants. So we have many consonants but only 5 vowels. Let's see the rule of doubling. Here big becomes bigger and biggest. Thin, thinner, thinnest. Red, redder, reddest. Adjectives with two or more syllables form the comparative by adding more and the superlative by adding most. So syllable is the smallest unit in any word. Like careful has two syllables. Careful, two syllables. In that case, we will add more in comparative and most in superlative. So let's see here, in all these three words, careful, courageous, magnificent, this is the comparative form. Here we can't say carefuler, that's wrong. We will say more careful, more courageous, more magnificent. Similarly, in the superlative form, if you write carefulest, it would be incorrect. Instead, you should write most careful, most courageous and most magnificent. Some adjectives follow no rules. So these are called special degrees of comparison. And you have to remember them as it is. Like little, less, least, much, more, most, many, more, most, far, further, farther, furthest, farthest, late, later, latest. Children, it's time that we learn how to use adjectives correctly. So, correct use of adjectives. Sometimes we come across some words which look similar, but the usage is quite different. Let's go through them. Some, any. Some is used in affirmative and while making request on interrogative. Some is used as an adjective here. Any is used for negative and interrogative sentences. No, any, not any are wrong expressions. Somewhat is used as an adverb. Let's read these examples. Can I have some sugar in my coffee? Is right, because this is affirmative. She did not eat any bread. Now this sentence is negative, so the usage is correct. Next we have words like much, many, a lot of, lots of. So although they look similar, a lot of, lots of, but there is difference in their application. Now much and many are used to talk about quantities and amounts. Much is used with uncountable nouns and many is used with plural nouns. A lot of, lots of are used with plural and uncountable nouns, but these are used colloquially, means not formally, in a very general language. Let's read these sentences. We saw many fishes in the pond. Lots of books are lying in the cupboard. We have another list. Little, a little, the little, few, a few, the few. There is a slight difference here amongst all of them. Little is used for quantity. And you can replace them with different degrees also, like little, less and least. Little means hardly any. In the negative sense, a little means not much. So this is different. A little means not much. Only some. So it has affirmative meaning. This is opposite to only little. And third, the little means not much but all. Although a slight difference, but there is a difference between all these three. Similarly, few is used for number and the degrees could vary. few, fewer, fewest. So specifically used for number. Few means hardly anyone, anything. So it's a negative sense. A few means not many, only some. But it has affirmative meaning. So this is the second type here, and it has affirmative meaning. Whereas the third one, the few, means not many but all. So this is the third category. Children, let's enjoy how to form adjectives so that you can make as many adjectives as possible and use in your writing. Adjectives are formed by adding suffixes to nouns, verbs and other adjectives. Try to recall what are suffixes. This helps us to make adjectives. Yes, suffixes are just a string of letters or a set of letters put after the root word, which helps to make new words. For example, danger makes dangerous. So what is the suffix here? OUS. Let's read along all of them. Color, colorful. Beauty, beautiful. Talk, talkative. Quarrel, quarrelsome. Somebody who gets into fights, we call that person very quarrelsome. Confuse, confusing. Elder, elderly. Sick, sickly. White, whitish. Let's mark the suffixes here. So we have OUS here, FUL, FUL, ING, some, EL, IVE, LY, LY and ISH. The following table lists some common suffixes with nouns, verbs and other adjectives that form new adjectives. So new adjectives are formed from three parts of speech, from nouns. You can use verbs also and other adjectives also. Please note how the spelling of some of the new words changes. In some cases, you will just add the suffix, while in the other, you might omit few letters in the original word. First, able, profitable, lovable, advisable. AL. From the words nation, empire and brute, we create adjectives like national, imperial and brutal. AR. Table, tabular. Sometimes we write information in a tabular form because we put it in a table. Like this is a tabular form. Single, singular, circle, circular. FUL. Peace, peaceful. Care, careful. Bounty, bountiful. IC makes the adjectives from energy, energetic, athlete, athletic, art, artistic. Did you observe all were nouns? Then we have ISH. Here we are just adding this suffix to the root word. Black gives blackish, child, childish, book, bookish. IVE. Effect, effective, adapt, adaptive, attract, attractive. Here also we have just added the suffix IVE. Less. The suffix less means not or without, like sleeve, sleeveless, rest, restless, hope, hopeless. So if you know the meaning of the suffix, you can also understand the meaning of the word. LY. Minute, minutely, friend, friendly, brave, bravely. OUS. Nerve, nervous, fame, famous, glory, glorious. Did you notice that we dropped the last letter of each word to make the new adjective? If you remember, you will get the spellings right. S-O-M-E or some. Tire makes tiresome, trouble, troublesome, or awesome. Y. Hunger, hungry, haste, hasty, ease, easy. Here also we have dropped the last letter. Some other adjectives are affection, affectionate, east makes eastern, France makes French, gold, golden, Germany, German, north, northern, south, southern, west, western, wool, woolen. Try out the given exercise here to recap this table and this mini topic. Children, I hope you learnt a lot more about adjectives in this lesson today. Do check your understanding by trying out the given exercises.